Hi guys, welcome to the Close4 Academy. We are going to create the Jenkin jobs. Like we are building the Spring Boot image and then deploying to the target environment. We are going to do that. Let's get into the session, guys. Thank you. Previous video we have seen how to install Jenkin on Windows. So we have installed Jenkin. So if you are not seen that video, Jenkin installation previous video, please watch that and then come to this video. Okay, this video we are going to create Jenkin jobs. We are going to build a Jenkin jobs. This couple of tasks we are going to create. Like we have first we created a Spring Boot projects we have created. So Spring Boot projects we generated a jar, build and generate jar, and then using Docker we build a image, and then we are deploying that image using Jenkin, right? So we are going to do that. First the Jenkin jobs already, Jenkin server already started. So 8080, I'm just going to click sign in, right? I'm going to click sign in, it's loaded. So already couple of jobs are there. We are going to create a new jobs. So in this job, this couple of tasks will be there. Each task will do like Jenkin building the Docker image and then deploying that, right? That is the job we are going to create. So I'm just going to open Eclipse, the projects I showed you. At the same time I'm opening the GitHub URL. So the Jenkin file, right? To build a Jenkin file, we are so last video we hosted inside the Jenkin itself, but that's not a proper way. We have to host in the Git repository, right? So Jenkin file, right? The build file. So Jenkins script file, we have to post that, right? So if I click Jenkin, so this is a folder, this is a root folder, cloud GCP DevOps. So these projects I have already opened here. I am opening. So if you see the Jenkin, so I created a Jenkin folder. So root directory, under the root directory, if we go to Jenkin, inside I have placed a Docker file. So this Docker file is just like building that image using Spring Boot jar, right? Spring Boot jar, Spring Boot image, it will build that. That's what this Docker image. And then if I see that, and then if I go to DevOps, sorry, I have already open Jenkin. If you see Docker image, a Jenkin file is created. Jenkin file, if I open Jenkin file, Jenkins, it will start with J, and then J is capital, and then Jenkins file. It has to be naming convention, it should be proper. This tag is a Jenkins script. We can use declarative way. Declarative is for regular changes, but Jenkins script is used for complex changes, right? The tag, how we are using that. You see a Groovy language. We have written in Groovy language. This is this script. So pipeline agent should be any, and option disable current concurrent build. We are disabling that, and then stages. How many stages we have? Build stage, deploy stage. Two stages were created, like two tasks actually. Two tasks we have created. Okay, so first job is steps build up method is calling. Second step is steps deploy dev. Okay, build up method is a method. Jenkin is a directory. If Jenkin directory is there, what it will know, it will create a image, Docker build image. It will build an image with this name. Okay, and then deploy the environment. Deploy method will get called, and here it will go dev environment, container name, dev, app id it will set, and then it will come down. So here these three steps are important. First step is bat file. This based on the OS. If it is Linux, it should be sh. Since it's a Windows, I added the bat file, bat docker ps container or container name, and then bat docker container xorgs docker rm. If you are removing the existing thing, if it's not running, okay, docker container, and last step is docker run. We are running the docker, right? Deploying that target environment, right? So target environment here is a local drive, is a local docker container, local docker we are installing. So that's a target. So target could be testing environment, or it could be a production environment, or it could be a staging environment. But now target for us local docker. Okay, docker we are going to deploy that the image. Okay, so this is a simple Jenkins file which we have hosted in the Git repository, and then Docker image. This is Spring Boot image. It will build a Spring Boot jar. So in this folder I created, if you see, Docker file Jenkins and jar file. So this jar, how we are creating is, you can go to Jenkins. This is simple, you know, Spring Boot application which has a UI, theme leaf library. It's a simple UI, and we are going to call this, right. So this port number is, if we see this port number, we can see that this is a port number 8082. It's a simple Spring Boot application. So if you are running this, if you create a package, we have to build Maven, and then package. So this has to be automated, but these two steps I am doing manually. This is a demo, I'm just doing this, but you can build Maven also in the job, actually job itself. So this jar is created in the target directory. This is a jar, this is a jar. So this jar I copied into the Jenkins folder, because docker file is there inside the Jenkins, even Jenkins file also inside that. That's why I copied here. And then if I call Jenkins will call docker image and then build and deploy that, right. So that's the reason I'm copying this folder, and then I push the changes to Git repository. So that I got this all these files. So here one more important thing is, if you see Jenkins, we are using Xorgs. Xorgs is not supported in Windows directly, it's for Linux. So if you want to support, we have to download Xorgs, like Xorgs for Windows. If you do Xorgs for Windows, you can download this. Download. It will get a GitHub URL. Xorgs for Windows. If I get first one, see these Xorgs we need to download. I downloaded these Xorgs in this folder, but you have to place it in the Windows directory. You copy this and go there, then only Xorgs will work, otherwise it will not work. You have to copy Xorgs and then go to Windows and paste it. That's it. So I already pasted Xorgs. If you see Xorgs, see xorgs.bat file is there. So that script will not get failed. For this Xorgs, we have to download Xorgs bat file from the Git repository. Okay, Git, they have already placed this Xorgs bat file. So you have to copy and put it in the Windows directory, right. So these are important steps we need to do. And Docker run 80802 port, there's a port number, because Docker file, not Docker file, this application.property port number is 8082, right. So Docker image is, so jar is generated. Using jar, build a Docker image and then deploying that, right. So now I'm going to Jenkins. I'm going to create a job, new item. So here, Cloud4 Academy, Jenkin Job, Jenkins pipeline. So select the pipeline, give OK. Description, Jenkins pipeline. Come here below. Here we have to pipeline. Instead of pipeline script, we can write the script. Last video I written the script here itself, but that's not the proper way, because Jenkins file has to be hosted in the GitHub repository, source repository, right? Any of the source repository. That's why we hosted the Git repository, right? And then select the script from SCM. Okay, once we select that, and then Git, select Git here, and hit repository URL. You have to give repository URL. What is the repository URL here? Go here, repository URL. Once go to the parent directory and click code, and this one we have to give HTTPS. Copy and put it in the GitHub repository. No credential order, it's a public repository. And then advanced, go to advanced, not advanced, branch, auto, additional behavior. Go to additional behavior, additional behavior. You have to select sparse checkout paths. We have to select this path. We have to select for checkout path. Checkout path is, what is that path? We have to give the parent directory, Jenkins. That's it. Jenkins is a checkout. From the root, we have all the host. We have hosted all the files, so we are giving this directory, Jenkins, right? Once we are given Jenkins and scroll down, So Jenkins file location we have to give same location only, right? Jenkins only. Jenkins slash Jenkins file. So this directory Jenkins file is there. So it will check out from there and it will read the file, right? That's all we copied this, right? So first we created the git path we mapped, and then master, and then branch, Jenkins source directory, and Jenkins file where is hosted along with the Jenkins file, and then directory. Now save it. Now it is saved. Now what we can do is we can go to the pipeline. So how many pipelines are there? So this is a pipeline we have recently created. Cloud Academy Jenkins pipeline. So build history, if you want to see, you can see there. There are a couple of builds already happened. So now if I click this, it will stages, you can see that. So couple of build is success. So now I'm going to create this pipeline, Jenkins pipeline. So if I click here itself we can run. So I'm clicking build now. Sorry, I have to, before that I have to start the Docker as well. Docker is not started, so build will get failed. If I want to build now, after that what you can do, you can go here and then build this build, click, and then go to console output. It will display build will go going on. So you can see build is going on, build is going on. Still build failure. See build failure. What is error? During default domain window, Docker client must be run. Okay, Docker we have to install, right? Docker for Windows we have to install. So I have already installed the Docker. So I'm going to start the Docker desktop. I started Docker desktop. I started Docker desktop. Now Docker is running. Yeah, now Docker is running. You can see Docker is running. So we have to bind this also. One step I missed. This also we have to give. So bind the Jenkins with the Docker, local Docker. We have to give this step. J should be small letter. Jenkins. This step we have to give. And then another thing is I missed out. I missed to tell that we have to install the plugins. We have to install the plugins. We have to install the plugins. Docker plugin. So that plugin install Docker plugin. We can go there. Jenkins. Manage Jenkins. Click manage Jenkins. Go here and then plugins. Click plugins. Docker update now, available plugins, Docker plugin, Docker pipeline. So I have already installed, right? Docker is already installed. If you have already installed, so Docker install. So we have already installed Docker plugin integrate with Jenkins Docker. So we can install it. Click install. So it will install the Docker. So like this is one, and the Docker plugin also we have to install. Since I already installed, it is not showing, right? So that is very important plugin. Now with Docker, you can go here, manage Jenkins plugins, install plugins. Now install plugins, we have these many plugins we have installed. So available, Docker plugin. Docker plugin is already installed, so that's why it's not showing, right? And Docker client also we installed. Okay, so now we have installed this stuff. We have to be installed Docker plugin, Docker client. Both I have installed. So now we can go and run the Jenkins. So Jenkin job. Here also you can run the job. Build now. I click the build now. So I'm going here, opening this console output. You will see whether it's running or not. So here Jenkins local Docker is started. You can see Docker is started. Build success. See, build is success. So you can see, check all the logs here, and stages. If you want to see the stages, we can go there and stages. Check out SCM, build and deploy to dev. So this graph is showing clearly, right? So build is success. If you want to check the configure again, you can go to this configuration. If you want to see the build history, you can check build history. This build is last build triggered, build history, and then you can click that and go to logs and then go to console output. You can see the job, right? So now this job is success. So I'm going to run the application. So run the applications like HTTP. Port number is localhost local localhost colon 8082. So there's a port number, right? 8082. So it's running. See, it's working. Application is running. So the UI is loaded and application is running. So it's target. Uh, Jenkins is deployed in the target environment, right? So that we are able to view the pages, right? We are able to see the pages. This is how we have to do. So first, what we need to do now, we need to install the Jenkins plugins. So come to manage Jenkins and then plugins, like here manage Jenkins and then plugins. We have to go to plugins and install the plugin, available plugins, and then Docker pipeline or Docker plugins we have to install, right? Once we install that, and then Docker we have to start. Docker we have to install on local and Docker has to be start. But this sometimes Docker is not finding this command we have to execute. Go to Windows. Go to Windows. This command has to be executed. It's already executed. That's why nothing is coming, right? So this has to be executed once we Docker is started. This line has to be executed. It will bind the Docker with the Jenkins, right? And then what we created a simple Spring Boot applications and then created a folder and a root folder. This Git repository. Jenkins Docker file is hosted. So Docker file is build the image using the jar. This jar is already hosted, and Jenkins file is calling, and then Docker, and Docker is image build. That image is built and deployed. And Xargs we need to copy and put it into the Windows directory. So that I already told how we can where to copy this, right? So we have to copy from the Git repository and put that, right? So these are the steps we have to follow. So this is a Jenkins script. So this is the Git repository and it is calling that. It's a simple script I have written. So you can do the build. So this is how we can create a jobs in Jenkins. So we can check out, we can check in the images pushing to the Docker hub, and if want to other target environment staging, we can push that. So like that we can write the script or multiple steps or task, we can write it in the Jenkins file, and that will based on our use cases. So that will do that, right? That will deploy the code changes. So now I have done the simple deployment, build the image and deploy that, right? So we are able to see the pages, right? So this is how we have to build the Jenkins jobs. Okay. Okay. Thank you for watching and listening. We are looking forward to join our Cloud 4 Academy.